My sincerest apologies for missing a video last week. It was Mother's Day and just ran out of time to get this pour done, and also the weather wasn't really cooperating that much. So in today's episode, we are gonna do a practice pour for the countertop. We're gonna make a quick little 1.5-inch form here. We're gonna get that poured, and then we're gonna see what color the concrete turns out as to see if we need to dye it for the countertop pour in the future. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Detached Garage. You join me in the covered patio area and out in the somewhat gravelly still backyard right now, but we are going to get a practice pour done today so we can figure out what color the concrete is that we will be pouring. We've got a bag of the sand mix concrete as well as the liquidcrete. I believe it's more of like a flow inducer. There's more information on the Z concrete website that I will link in the description below. This video is sponsored by them, and we're just gonna do a practice pour to see how it goes, see the color, and see what we need to do to make sure we get the pour perfect for our countertop over here on these outdoor cabinets. So let's get the camera flipped around. We're gonna make a little form on this plywood here, then we're gonna mix up the concrete, get it poured, and then we'll kind of take you through the time lapse of doing some trowel finish and all of that. So let's get the camera turned around and get going. All right, guys, so we have the 2x2 box done. I don't think this is gonna quite fill this up, but you know, we'll just see what color it turns out as. I was gonna lay these down and only do the 1.5-inch thick versus the 3.5-inch thick, but no worries. So we have the bucket, we've got the hose, we've got the liquidcrete, we've got the quickcrete. So each bag takes 3 quarts. I've got the quart jug measurement here. So we're gonna fill this up, 3 quarts, put it in the bucket, and get to mixing with the paddle mixer and Milwaukee drill. So let's get that set up and get it going. All right, guys, so we have it poured. A little bit more of an adventure than we thought. The bag really needed a lot more water than I thought it was gonna need. And the drill, I might need to switch to a M18 drill. This one was overheating quite a bit and we keep shutting down. So I might need to switch to a different drill for the next mix, but we've got it. We've got the liquidcrete bag in there as well. And so everything is good. So now we just wait. I'm gonna clean up a little bit here, clean the bucket out, clean the mixer off. I already cleaned the trowel off. You can see we're a little bit below the edge. So I did as best a job as I could to kind of smooth it out. There's no aggregate in this. This is a sand mix. They recommend the sand and topping mix for the concrete. So we're gonna let this set for a little bit more, and then we're gonna get on it, start troweling it, and see how it does. And then we'll come back a few days later and show you what color it looks like. So it's been about 45 minutes. I just got finished doing a quick trowel on this. We're gonna let it sit for probably another 30 to 40 minutes, and then I'm gonna come do a hard trowel on it. I don't have an actual hard trowel. I'm gonna try and use an edging trowel to polish it up even more, but it's looking good so far. We'll kind of see what it looks like in a few minutes here. All right, guys, so you joined me many days later because we have had an absolute crazy amount of rain, and I didn't even get to finish fully troweling this. So we got a pretty good surface. There's a few little waves in here, but overall it is pretty good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the forms off of it, and we will remove this from the forms, and we'll see how it looks. I'm pretty happy with the color. It's kind of like a white color. It's going to get a little bit darker when we do the sealant on top of it. So I'm pretty happy with the way it is. I don't think we're going to have to dye it at all. So let's get the impact working. We'll knock the forms off, and then we will see what it looks like on the sides. All right, guys, so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Again, it could get a little bit more polished, and we are going to do some sanding to this after we pour the actual pour here. So we are a little thicker than what we will be pouring, probably about this thickness down here. We're pouring on a little bit of a slope, so we had a little bit of a thickened edge over here versus this side, but not a big deal. I do like the color. I think it's gonna work, especially when we put some sealant on it for out here. So I think we are good to go with what we've got. So next step is to take the concrete board, get it all silicone down, and then finalize our forms, get all those silicone done. So we will do that in another episode. So thanks so much for watching the practice pour on this episode. I know it wasn't the most exciting thing, but it's a very important step if you want your concrete countertop to turn out really, really well. Huge shout out to our sponsor, Concrete Countertop Solutions. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, our previous episode, and also an upcoming episode when we finish the concrete countertop. If you have any questions, please put that in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching Detached Garage, and I hope to catch you on the next episode.